Hey, what's up? This is Grady with Triple Z. I am here in sunny San Diego, California on vacation with my family. I got my little kids here trying to disrupt my video, but I'm on vacation. Had a nice time here in California. Much needed rest for me and my wife. But this is a haul video, and I did make it out to 2 thrift stores yesterday. So I'm going to show you what I got at thrift stores in downtown San Diego, California. So that was the Salvation Army in downtown San Diego. It was a really big store full of stuff. I spent an hour there. I went through their men's dress shirts and t-shirts, the sporting goods, the shoes. I went through everything in the case, and I picked up a few items. Here's what I got. They gave me a nice Salvation Army bag, which the ones here in Tucson don't do. And now I'm going to cut it open, and we'll see what treasures I find. This is a vintage, small size Aerosmith t-shirt from the album Pump, which I happen to personally own back in probably 1991. And it's a little bit distressed. It's a small size, probably good for a woman's size, and I see it's got some staining there. I'll see what I can do about that. But this is a perfect shirt to be cut up and extra distressed to look more contemporary and fashionable rather than just a vintage rock and roll shirt. Don't worry, be happy. So I got this because it's got all the classic 90s style things like the smiley face and don't worry, be happy. So I just think some cool kid will want to rock this shirt. So all of this stuff I got for half off, by the way. So the t-shirts, I paid, I think, $1.25 for. The dress shirt that I'm showing you now, I paid $3.25 for it. So this is a Tommy Bahama plaid dress shirt. Supernatural Santana, live at the Joint. I don't know if that was a single show that he did or if that was a tour. So I'm going to do some research and see how rare that shirt is. If it's rare, I'll probably list it at a high price. So check this out. Talking about rare, this is a size 16 dress shoe. So these are hard to find. I imagine I'll be able to sell it. It's incredibly large. It's got the horse, it's like a horse bit loafer. And it is by Megani. And the bottoms are super clean. So I'm going to stretch this out, I'm going to condition it, and I'm hoping I can sell it for $80. The other pair of shoes I bought are these Dansko clogs, and I found them just sitting on the floor in the middle of the shoe section like someone had tried them on and then just left them there. So I checked them out real good, made sure there's no damage, since the last time I bought Dansko clogs there was some damage I didn't find. They were $15, so I paid $7.50 for them. They'll probably sell for about $40 to $50. This is a 511 Tactical brand polo shirt, and it has the Magnum Elite logo on it. So I know tactical gear can sell fairly well. There is definitely a market for it, and 511 Tactical is a good company. And they make clothing that is intended to accommodate, you know, firearms or be good for police officers and things like that. And I paid $2.75 for this shirt. Toby Keith, Biggest and Baddest, USA. I think this is a tour t-shirt, but I'm not totally sure. I'm not up on my Toby Keith. I'm not that big a fan. I just know his one song, I'm Not As Good As I Once Was. This is a body armor t-shirt with an American flag on the side. And it says Under Armour Freedom on the back. So I think Under Armour has branched out into doing a line of tactical clothing to serve that marketplace, and this is, I think, part of that line. This is actually the first Under Armour item I have ever tried to resell. So hopefully it goes well. I know tons of people wear it. I see other people who do YouTube videos buying Under Armour stuff and selling it. So that's what I found at the Salvation Army. Coming up next, let's see what I got at the next thrift store. A few blocks away from the Salvation Army, there is another thrift store called the Humble Heart Thrift Store, so that's where I went next. It's not a chain thrift store. I'm not sure what charity it's associated with, if any, but I do know that they're doing good work over there, because when I walked in, there was a woman sitting right by the door, an older woman who was clearly having some problems, appeared like she was probably homeless and intoxicated on something. And, you know, instead of kicking her out of the store, the owner was actually helping her out. He was giving her new socks, he gave her a blanket. You know, he was getting her all set up basically for life on the street. Well, not all set up, but he was helping her out with a few items for life on the street. And, you know, and then they got her set up, and then, you know, she left the store. So it was a good way to deal with conflict, and it was a good way to, you know, to serve that community, because in downtown San Diego, there's a lot of people who look like they're, you know, they're hard up and hurting. And so it's nice to see that in action. I'm glad I could support it by spending a little money at this store. The guy working there, I don't know if he's the owner or just works there, but he was like a total Southern California surfer dude. He had long hair and, you know, like kind of that surfer slang, like way he talked and stuff. So, I went in and they had shoes behind the counter, so I was asking about some cowboy boots, and he wanted like $40 for a pair of Ariat cowboy boots, which is like a fair price at a thrift store. I mean, he could probably get that, but like I come from, you know, Arizona, where there's tons of cowboy boots, and so, you know, when he said $40, I was just like, oh yeah, no, I'm not interested. And so then he's like, oh, would you take 30? And I was like, I was gonna offer you 10. And, you know, then I started telling him I was from Arizona, and that I, you know, and he's like, oh, well, let's look them up on eBay. Like, let's see what they're worth, you know? So that's a fair thing. And I said, yeah, I actually sell shoes. Like, that's kind of my thing that I do. I said I was going to buy them to resell them. You know, and I said, they're probably worth online about $50 or $60. So I said, you know, you should just sell them for 30 or 40, and like someone will be getting a good deal, but like I'm not that person. So I think he felt bad he couldn't make the shoe sale. And then I asked about these other shoes, which are these ones. And so I think he felt bad, you know, that he wanted so much for the boots. So he said, oh, I'll give you these for $5. They were marked for $7.50. I asked him what brand they were, if they were a brand. And he said, oh yeah, they're a pair of Vans, which is even better. And so I looked them up real quick on my phone. A pair of these sold in really good condition for $160. And then some in bad condition sold for, you know, around $50 or $60. So I am in the $50 to $60 range. There, you can see the sole is super worn out. They're like heavily distressed. There's a little bit of like damage to the side there where this is peeling back and stuff. So someone will want to wear these because they're vintage and they look super tore up and awesome. And it's Iron Maiden, man. That's in right now. People are into that. So this was the most exciting thing I found there for $5. I also bought this vintage early 90s Grateful Dead sticker. I paid $2 for it, which is kind of a lot for a single sticker. To be honest with you, I may just keep it if it's not worth much. If it's worth $15 or more, I'll probably sell it. Otherwise, I might just keep it because I'm a little bit of a Grateful Dead nerd, and their merchandise is highly collectible. So the biggest thing that I bought there, which is not something I sell at all, is some makeup. I've really avoided selling makeup because I have no idea about it, and I know that there's a ton of makeup that's marketed and sold to women and people, and you know, most of it isn't worth anything. But I came across this incredibly huge bin of like eyeliner and lip makeup, that seemed like it was made for professional makeup people, like not for like home consuming, you know what I mean? Like not like something you'd buy necessarily like at the drugstore to use for yourself, but like this is something that like makeup artists or you know, people who do makeup for other people would use. And so I did some research on the brands. There's a few different brands in here, and it seemed like these were worth about $3 a piece individually, plus shipping. And then, so I'm planning to bulk these into lots and sell it that way probably, because I don't want to sell single, you know, makeup pens for like $3. It's not worth the listing time that it will take to do that. But there's a ton of them in here. I had a little bit of a debate with the guy about how many there was, because neither of us wanted to count them. And I was like, just asking him, how much do you want for all of this? Because there's even more than this. This is just the one container. There's probably another 100 of these. And so he was like, oh man, there's definitely like, you know, 500 or 600 of those in there. And I'm thinking like, there's no way there's 600. I thought there was about 200. But I didn't want to, you know, debate that with him or argue with him or whatever. So I just said, well, would you take $30 for all of it? Because he was wanting, I think, 25 cents for each one. And I was like, but I want to buy all of them. And then, like I said, neither of us wanted to actually sit there and count all of these out and do the math on that. So, and I wasn't going to pay 25 cents for each one of these because I knew that was going to be, you know, a lot of money. So I basically just said, would you take $30 for all of it? And he was like, yeah, cool, I'll do 30 bucks. And so I did that deal, and that was the last thing I got. It seems like San Diego has a really good thrift store scene. I was looking on Google Maps when I was planning my outing and looking up thrift stores around San Diego, and there's just so many of them there. And the two thrift stores that I went to were both really big and had a ton of stuff, and I didn't even have enough time to go through all the things in either of those stores, because I only had about an hour and a half to do this, because I was on vacation after all, and didn't go out there to work. And it just seems like there's a lot of thrift stores and there's a lot of inventory, and it's a bigger marketplace than where I am. So, you know, if I wanted to drive back to San Diego and spend 2 days and go to all their thrift stores, I would probably come home with a truck full of things to resell. And I enjoyed myself going out and seeing that little slice of it. So if you're in San Diego, you should go check out their thrift stores and support their local charities. Thanks for watching this haul video. Have a great day.